Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tuesday Tips, our weekly conversation on all challenges that are facing school leaders. I'm Michael Barber, your host here on our Grow Schools channel. Joined today for episode, I believe, 34 by one of my colleagues on our enrollment marketing team, Cheril Clarke. Cheryl, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. I'm glad to be here with you.
Thanks for joining us. So, Cheryl, as mentioned, is on our enrollment marketing team and leverages her knowledge to work with school leaders across a number of tactics. But one of the ones that is near and dear to her heart and she is an expert at is all things video. So, we asked Cheryl to hop in today to have a chat about how schools can more effectively leverage video, especially in an age where growth across YouTube Shorts, TikTok, etc., is becoming even more important for schools and how they connect with potential kids and their families. So let's hop right into the questions, Cheryl. The first one right at the top. How can school leaders effectively leverage video to showcase their schools? What are some quick tips that they can utilize?
I would say some quick things that you can use are to really think about what makes your school unique from the eyes of prospective families and what makes you different, what will make you stand out. So that could be some behind the scenes tours of certain classrooms. If you really have a school that excels at athletics or arts or science or anything that's really fantastic about your school, highlight that in video. Student-led activities, things that the students are doing, or maybe even have a student do a tour or quick Q&A about why they love this school or why it's important to them, who their favorite teachers are and why. It's really about resonating with the potential families. The number one thing you want to do is to get someone to say, when they see your video, oh my gosh, this is the perfect school for my child. So, or finally, this school gets it. This is a place where I feel like my child will feel comfortable because of whatever you highlighted in the video.
Yeah, video is such a good resources for brands to bring their tone and voice to life in a way that I think is more concrete for, the family or the kid that's looking for a different school option. Certainly, we can do that with words, the written word, if you will. But in an age where an enormous amount of time is being spent on video platforms, this can cut through some noise to at least give either a potential kid or your current kids and families insights into what's happening in the school, the feeling about the school,
Yeah.
etc. So really good tips there.
Yeah.
Now, one of the conversations we always have with school leaders is around tools that they need to be able to produce, record and edit videos. Do you have any thoughts on different apps that are out there that can help school leaders edit those videos and produce as best high quality video content that they can?
Right now, one of the easiest ones to, once you kind of get the learning curve is it's not steep. I would say CapCut, CapCut, CapCut app is really easy to use. It's fantastic. There are tens of thousands of templates in there for whatever it is, whether you want to do a flash collage or walking video or a mix of videos with photo. You can just type in the search and find some kind of template that fits it. Even if you don't find a template or don't want to work with a template, it's still a very good video editor. So if you want to play with overlaying some funny meme or some funny green screen thing that makes sense for your school and the audience, it's very easy to do. You don't have to be a professional film editor to use it. You just put it on there, overlay, and cut out the background. So you can do all kinds of cool things that may resonate, particularly if you have older students who the students themselves may be watching it. But CapCut is good. And there's a free version and a paid version, and same thing with another one called VidGuru. That one is, I believe, free, and then maybe $5 after that or so. If you want to remove the ads.
Yeah. Those pesky ads, right? You pay for the upgrade and you probably get some more templates or features as a part of paying for those features. Okay, so a couple of apps that you can leverage to both produce and edit those videos. Some good options there for school leaders to think about. Now, question, one of the things that always comes up related to videos is obviously photo and video releases for kids, and making sure that school leaders are aware of both local, state, and national laws from a privacy perspective. What do school leaders need to know, and what do they need to be aware of if they're going to produce video content of their kids?
I would say always err on the side of getting consent from the parents or guardians before you do put any child in any video or photo. You must get that. Probably even with that, sometimes people are iffy. Group shots are great unless you have an ironclad, I approve, or a signature to interview a student. Obviously, that's going to be close up, but get those. They don't have to be complicated. I don't think. You can be a one pager that just says, I give permission for this school to use my child in, marketing materials, and just make sure you have those signatures from the appropriate parent or guardian, so that it can't come up later that, hey, I didn't say you can use my child in a brochure or video. So that, getting a lot of group stuff, and I think those are helpful.
Yeah, one pro tip I heard from some of our school leaders is make it a part of the enrollment process, right? Because there's obviously a lot of signatures that have to happen that are pretty typical. So you can fold that photo and video release into that process as well. If you've got,
Yeah.
an enrollment tool that sort of has a step-by-step process of
Mhm.
paperwork and whatnot. So good
Yeah,
ideas there.
early. You can get it out of the way early.
There you go. And then let's talk about success stories. You've obviously worked with, and our team has worked with just a ton of schools. I think we're at 95 or 96 schools over the past 5 or 6 years on enrollment marketing partnerships that we developed with them. What are some, success stories of leveraging video that have had big impacts on schools?
I think the simpler ones sometimes even do better. Like you can, there's nothing wrong with having a professional video team if you have the budget, but many times the simpler cell phone videos do really well when it's just a classroom tour, or meet the teacher, or or maybe it's footage of a pep rally or some kind of music, something that's visually interesting that it looks like it was shot on the fly, because sometimes those will outperform the videos that look more produced sometimes. So having a good mix of both. School tours usually always do great. If there is a budget, to have that nice shot coming into the school where you see the nice wide open hallway and everything. The schoolyard, if there are great visual, colorful things out there to look at, or children playing, just showing the students having a good time learning and interacting with each other, so that it looks like it's a safe place to learn. Yeah.
Yes. Some good tips there. And then on the other opposite side of the spectrum, if you will, mistakes or pitfalls that schools may fall into when implementing video. Any thoughts or suggestions there on some common ones that school leaders should be prepared to navigate as they start to leverage video?
The first thing that comes to mind is overthinking the video. I guess that kind of goes back to what I just said. Sometimes you don't have to have a big budget. If you have a phone, you can get one of the free apps and you can do it. Another pitfall might be not thinking about audio if you're shooting outside. Just a little bit of wind can ruin the video, and people may forgive a video that has a slight shake to it, but it's hard to watch a video where the audio is bad. So really thinking about where you're shooting ahead of time, and maybe get a cheap, I'm thinking there may be like $15, little cheap mic that goes in the phone that you can clip on someone if it's an interview, but making sure that the sound is good. And it's not too busy. So if you have a subject in front, that there's nothing distracting behind them, or what the person is wearing. Sometimes wardrobe itself can be distracting depending on the type of video you're going for. So just paying attention to little details that may take folks' attention away from the main message.
Yeah, those patterns on shirts and tops, right, can be really challenging
Yeah.
for video cameras, particularly if they're sort of a checker or gingham style, if you will, a look and feel to them, because they can sort of create an illusion of
Mhm.
motion on screen. So some
Yeah.
great tips there from you, Cheryl. Anything else you want to share across thoughts and in your work with school leaders when it comes to video and what they can utilize it to create an impact on their school? Any final thoughts there?
I would think one more thing that I didn't cover earlier is when you actually post a video, whether it's to TikTok or YouTube or wherever, with the exception of Facebook. Facebook doesn't really recognize hashtags as much, but the SEO or searchability of the video. So if you go on to most of the social platforms, think of what the family or this prospective student might be searching for. And include those in the hashtags, because that's essentially going to help your video bubble up to the top. If time permits and you happen to know music that's trending, or you
Mm.
just recognize it, trending music always helps, but sometimes that's hard because it changes from week to week. And if you don't have a dedicated social media person, that may not be feasible. Um, However, if it's an older grade student and you have someone who's really interested in video, maybe that can also help. You can, if it works with the particular school, have the students themselves help because they're probably on social media a lot, and getting feedback from the people who are going to be in the videos, because they know what folks are going to swipe off within a second or not. So
Yeah.
Searchability, discoverability, hashtags, music if you can, but it's not the be all end all. What's most important is with the first 3 seconds, you resonate with your target audience. So whether
Capture
that
that
is,
attention.
yeah, families in fill in the blank with the location, looking for a school that fill in the blank. So right away on the first frame, they know, oh, I'm a family in Greeley, Colorado, looking for a K-8 school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, just making sure you're tagging locations as well, because that can help
Yes.
from a findability perspective. So great tips there, Cheril. We try and keep these to 10 minutes every single week, and we're at the 12-minute mark. So we'll wrap up and say thanks to everyone for joining us for today's episode. As I mentioned, episode 34 of Tuesday Tips. We're here every week talking about all things challenges facing school leaders, or should I say all challenges facing school leaders. Cheril, big thank you for joining us this week, as always. Hopefully you'll come back again and have another conversation on video in the future, because there's just so much happening when it comes to all of the individual video social networks and different types of video formats, what's resonating, what's not, that's changing constantly. So we'll have to have you back in maybe a couple of months to have this conversation again. Absolutely. With that, I'll say a big thank you again to Cheril and tell you to see you all next week right here on our Grow Schools channel. We're here at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern every week, talking all things challenges for school leaders. We'll see you next week. Take care.
See ya.